What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Big L back with another Echo Chamber. We're going to be joined by an amazing guest today, Miss Amanda Detmer. So we're going to bring her in just a second, but I want to let you guys know that we are being brought to you live on Facebook and YouTube by the Oscarth, aka the Cosmic Portal. My man Marky Mark is handling the stream tonight. So let's take it away, Marky Mark, and show Miss Amanda Detmer in here.
Hi, how you doing?
Great. Again, thank you for joining us on this beautiful evening. How's it out there where you are? How's the weather?
It's absolutely beautiful right now. It's finally cooling off here in Chico, California. It's cold in the mornings, but even today it probably hit 80 degrees. So it's still warm, but it's lovely, and we're finally moving into some cooler weather. It's been a really hot summer. It always is here. So
Yeah, I spent some time in California back in my younger years, and I loved. I'm a hot weather person. Even
yeah.
being a bigger person, I love hot weather. I love being in the heat. So when it starts getting below 60 degrees or whatever, I'm like, nope, I gotta go where it's warmer.
Yeah, before my 50s, and the onset of certain things that happen to your hormones. I was a not fond of the cold, but now my house is like 52 degrees and my family's freezing. So
I gotta love it. I gotta love it. Well, again, I am so thrilled that you agreed to do this. I was shocked when you told me at Myrtle Beach Comic Con that you would be willing to do this with us, because most of the time, when we have celebrities, they want to ask for certain things, and the fact that you were so gracious to give us your time, even for the little bit of time we have you, that for our small little group, we certainly appreciate you for that.
Well, I appreciate being asked, truly. So thank you so much for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So a lot of people know you throughout your career for doing a lot of things, anywhere from some of your TV work, your movie work. What are you most proud of? What would you say your most proud role would be?
Well, my proudest role, of course, is mother, but I would say my first and most and biggest accomplishment, which I keep reminding myself of right now, is definitely my master's. I got my master's of fine arts from New York University's Tisch School of the Arts, and I think that is, looking back, started everything. Without that, I wouldn't have had all the amazing opportunities and experiences that I had, or the amazing education that I had. And in fact, as of next semester, I get to be a professor. I'll be officially a professor at Chico State University, teaching acting for the camera. So that'll be really fun. Um, but in terms of like acting roles, I've done some amazing. I've been privileged to be a part of some theater, regionally, which started off my career. I worked at the Guthrie in Minnesota a couple times, and I truly feel like when I first did my first professional big show and I walked out on that stage for just the dress rehearsal, I remember thinking, man, if it never gets better than this, I'll have some cool stories to tell. And then thus was the beginning of so many amazing experiences. Um, for sure, Final Destination, was fantastic, because it was my first studio film, big role in a studio film. And I was on a plane and flying to Vancouver and being put up and spending money and all that amazing stuff. But most importantly, I got to experience being in front of the camera and special effects, and being hit by the bus and whatnot. That was fantastic. And to have an iconic death, I would say that, in the bigger scheme of things, the bigger movies I've done, Majestic, working with Frank Darabont, who's an Oscar-winning director of
Right,
Shawshank Redemption.
right.
Just an incredible experience working with Jim Carrey. And it's a whole different level when you get up to those $100 million movies. That's quite an experience as well. And then everything in between. I've done a ton of television. Really enjoyed. I've done more pilots than I think anyone I know. Um, Done about 29 pilots.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah. So I keep saying, I think I've been picked up about 13 times, and haven't had a hit. So I feel like I'm due for one of those.
I would
But
agree. I would agree. You are due. I gotta say, the one thing you mentioned is the two roles you're most proud of is one being a mother, to your master's degree. Being a father of 5 children,
Wow.
and being, having a degree in robotics and all that kind of stuff, and kind of moving into what I do now, I can say I commend you for putting that out in the forefront.
Thank you.
Because that right there is something that a lot of people, especially, anyone that would be in any type of industry would be looking at, well, I've done this accomplishment, but to have the education and the mother be the forefront of what you're most proud of, that speaks volumes to not just your character, but who you are as a human being.
Thank you so much.
I
Thank
absolutely love that, because I am such a fan of education. I tell my children all the time, the more education you can get, the more opportunities you have. And
That
as you
is
just said,
true.
you have it coming up.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to teach, and I not only get to teach, I get to teach at my alma mater where I got my undergraduate degree. And literally, that saying, having something to fall back on is right now the truest statement I have in my life. I mean, I work in middle school as aid for extensive special needs children, and I wouldn't be able to do that without my degree from Chico State. And that's been an amazing opportunity to be around children and to learn so much, and to also just feel like I'm actually participating in something that is going to have a positive effect on the world in a way. And as much as acting is so great and wonderful and awesome, and if I was on a film movie set, I'd be raving about that. It's just not the way it is right now. So I get to continue contributing to society on a level that I feel is extremely important. So
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. I'm very much, like I said, very pro education, and just seeing the level of dedication you have to the craft that you have in not only acting but into your education as well is, again, a testament to your person. So moving a little bit into TV stuff, obviously, like I said, you've done like 15 pilots. You're due for one. Is there one you wish you would have gotten? Is there one out there?
oh
You
my
wish you would have
gosh.
taken
Well,
off?
I'll tell you what, there's a couple that I was very lucky as a pilot actress. I was very, very successful. So I usually had a choice between 2 or 3, especially early on in my career. I got to pick, which getting to choose in this business is sort of like the A game, right? You're like, wow, I'm really there. I'm in it. And I had worked for Shonda Rhimes in a show called Private Practice, and did
Mhm.
a several episode arc, and had a child. And then I came back and did a couple more episodes, and then shortly after that, Shonda Rhimes did a little pilot everyone might know as Scandal. and
Yes.
um, and I had gotten a sitcom, and boy, do I like sitcoms. And I like sitcoms because they speak to the theater person in me. They're the most like theater of anything in front of a camera I think that you can do, and they're just so much fun. And I really had a good feeling about it, and I chose that over Scandal. So went
Wow.
up in there, and yeah, but it is what it is. And of course, and then I had an offer to do a Marvel television show, and I had another pilot, and I picked the other pilot.
We live and learn.
Yeah,
It's funny. One time I had an opportunity to go work for Panasonic, and I chose to go to work for Motorola.
there you
So,
go.
and
Who
I
the hell
moved halfway
knows,
across
right?
the country. So, it's just like, and then my parents are like, you could have went 5 minutes down the street and worked, and you moved 1,100 miles away.
Yeah,
So
shoulda,
it
woulda,
happens.
and every experience. And I try very hard, and I feel like I'm successful at I occasionally have days where I'm like, God, I wish that had happened. But I try not to stay there too long, because again, life is what you make it. You got to make the best of it.
100%. I was telling a friend this morning who was kind of down in the dumps, and they messaged me and was asking me some stuff. And I said, the best thing you can do is keep moving forward.
Got to keep moving forward, man. Especially
Just
right now.
keep
One
moving
foot in
forward.
front of the other, literally.
Exactly. Just keep going. And they're like, but it doesn't matter. It's in the past. Keep moving
It
forward.
it doesn't matter except for how it informs how you're going to move into the future. That's it.
100%. So tell us some about the projects you've got coming up, and what's on the horizon for you outside of teaching, of course.
Well, I'm really excited to be a part of. I've gotten the opportunity to work with some young people. I call them young people. People in their 30s now, in some independent film indies in the last few years, and I'm very impressed. I just want to say I'm so impressed with these kids in Hollywood, like I said, in their 30s, at the amount of work and effort and their own time and money that they put into getting out content that features them, features their friends. So I've gotten lots of phone calls, and I always say, hey, just give me a call like you did. Ask, you never know. And I try to show up for them whenever I can. I've done an independent called Blood Wine, which came from somebody who was a fan of Final Destination. I think we've got a good shot of that being seen. I am doing another independent in New York. I'm really excited about, written and directed and produced by a young man named Paulie Caruso, and it's a series of vignettes about an apartment in New York City, and it's going to go from the 20s to the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. And he got this
Oh,
idea when he
nice.
moved in. Isn't that neat? And he
That
said,
is neat.
God, I wonder what happened in this apartment since the beginning of this apartment. And he wrote this, there's these vignettes, and it's already got a full cast, and we're really excited about it. And that'll be in sometime in February in New York, and yeah, so I'm excited about that. That'll be fun.
Cool beans. I love that because you always want to see not so much. I mean, I know Big Hollywood has their ideas, but to see something fresh and new coming down the pipeline is always good to have coming in.
Oh man, yeah, this kid, he's like, well, he seems really, really young to me, but I want to say he's 25, 26 years old. And just, I'm so impressed. First conversation I had with him, I was like, dude, I'll follow your train anywhere you want me to go. I will jump on that. Let's go for this ride together. Because the enthusiasm, like I said, is just incredible. And of course, when I got started, we did not have all of the tools that they have right at their fingertips. And to see them actually doing things with it just blows my mind.
100%. Yeah, it's funny, you mentioned Final Destination a couple of times. It is currently right now, as we speak, on the East Coast right here, playing on AMC.
All
Um,
right.
AMC is playing it. Just before we jumped on, your death scene happened.
That's
So
right, man.
I did just happen to see it again, and my wife's like, my wife said there, she goes, you're going to go talk to her, and you're watching her die. I'm like, it's one of the most iconic scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
So could you take just a few minutes, because obviously it is wanting your first big role. Walk us through what that day looked like when they were going through, setting up for the scene and all that. Kind of tell us a little bit about it, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, for sure. It was a pretty exciting day. I had before the filming began, stood and worked with the special effects guys who made, a full body cast of me, which was I thought was really interesting. They kept apologizing because it was taking so long, but I just found it to be like the most fascinating thing ever. It was absolutely old school. They made a big, they made a dummy of me and stuffed it with blood and guts. There was a lot of anticipation about this particular death scene because they were going to implement a new technique in how to shoot it. And so it was a really exciting day. You could feel the energy on set, and you could feel the anticipation and the excitement. And the amazing thing about that is the take that you see is the one and only take that we did of that.
Okay, so I did not know that. Mark, did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was surprised because it is an iconic scene just because it was the first time that you ever saw somebody die in that fashion. I know it's
Right.
been done to death recently now, but yeah, I can't believe they got it in one take, which is fantastic. I just rewatched all of them because I wanted to watch the new one, but I wanted to see where it started so I get an idea. And I thoroughly enjoyed watching them again,
Yeah.
especially when you guys got off the plane and then
Yeah.
everything happened. So that the first scene when you're on the plane and everybody dies, and then to see everybody get off the plane. So it was good to watch
Yeah.
again.
It was exciting, and I will say, since you bring up the getting off the plane, as a really green, film actress, I was so green. I mean, we're all green, but I was by far the most green of anybody. And here I am out at NYU, and all I've done is, train for the stage. And we had this camera, when we get off the plane, and it's my single, right, of seeing the plane explode in the air. And they were like, and we want you to look at this little piece of, this little piece of green tape inside of the matte box, which is the box that frames the camera.
Right.
And we want you to look at this piece of tape and pretend like you're seeing all your friends die suddenly in midair. And I was like, well, in my head, what I wanted to say was, well, I can't do that. I just don't do that. I'm going to need somebody to act like they're dying or something like that. And I was in my head, I was like, mostly because I thought I wouldn't be able to act it properly. I was probably insecure. So that's when ego often comes through, and we don't mean it to, but usually ego comes from insecurity. And then after a few takes, I was like, oh, this is great, man. This is fun, because there's the possibilities and the choices are limitless.
Yeah,
Really.
nobody sees what you're doing at all. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you get to do it over. It's not like stage. There's no do-overs, man. It's done once you're
That's
out
true,
there,
yeah.
Yeah.
So your stage stuff, is there a role that you would go and do again, or have you done multiple times on stage?
No. Well, I know that working at the Guthrie in Minneapolis, Minnesota is probably just the most rewarding and professional, and you're just around actors who are beyond anything you can even ever see on film, to be honest. I mean, we have some great film actors who do theater, but the quality is so incredible, and there's such high stakes when you have a live audience, and getting to be asked back is always incredible. So, and I was asked back there. That's a really, really good question. I think it's hard not to want to look at your work and think, oh, I should have done this different, or I should have done that different. And in order to avoid that altogether, I just don't watch my work. And I also feel like right off the bat, there was so much focus, especially when I was young, on how you looked and all the things, which was true. I felt like if I watched myself, I would start worrying about the things that had nothing to do with character, or motivation or intention, and I would start to pick myself apart, and how I looked, as opposed to continuing to stay within the world of the character. So
I
haven't watched much. Yeah.
I can understand that very much. I myself, I love to cook, and anyone that's around me, Mark will even tell you, they tell me I'm an amazing cook, but I am my own worst critic. I don't like tasting anything I cook. If I make, barbecue on the smoker or whatever, I don't want to eat it, because I'm like, I've already spent 12, 15 hours working with it. I don't want to mess with that. So I completely understand what you're saying. You don't want to see, because you don't want to pick yourself apart and understand, well, what I do wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, like, I don't like my, chin that down. I want my chin up. I remember one time on a TV show I was on called Necessary Roughness, and I had a makeup artist that I loved. And one day she walked by me, and under her breath, she said, "Don't ever put your chin down like that again." And I turned around, and let me just say, I wasn't very pleasant. And I'm always a pretty pleasant person. And I was like, "Don't you ever tell me what to do when I am acting again."
100%.
I don't remember. I think I just had my son. Maybe I was a little squishy around the edges. I don't know. But I just was like, ew. Like, I've spent 10 years trying to not worry about things like where my chin is. Like, I can't do that. Like, I don't care. I don't care. And I would say now, I would be very excited to work again. And when I work again, to actually now be able to watch myself and watch the things that do matter, and be able to make intelligent choices again. So again, I think when I was younger, it was ego. And now that ego tends to kind of fade away, I would enjoy the opportunity to be able to critique my work as opposed to my face or my butt.
Understand. Yeah, I know we're all in our 50s, so we all have learned over the years, and now, I have grandchildren, so now it's like, all right,
Unbelievable.
it's one of those things you just got to kind of go with the flow and keep moving forward.
Keep moving forward.
But
Always be learning.
always be learning. So I'm going to say this, and ABC, NBC, CBS, you're going to hear it first. Miss Detmer is definitely ready to do a pilot.
I'm so ready to do a pilot.
She's
I'm
so ready. So you're going to hear it first on the Echo Chamber here with the Oscar, the Cosmo Portal, Geek Phantoms MC. Give her a call. She's waiting, guys.
I'm ready.
She's
I'm
waiting.
ready.
Well, listen, we certainly appreciate your time. We don't want to take up any more of your time because we know it is precious. You have a lot of things, especially with your family. Give us your last thoughts of anything you would like to tell us about, and then we're going to call it a day.
I just am very grateful that we talked a little bit, because if young people are listening, pick what you love and do what you love to the very best of your ability, but be smart, because there's always going to be people that are going to try and get in the way of that. In the same breath, I want to say, when you pick a career that's really, really hard, if there's anything that you can think of that you will truly love to do besides that, do it. But I did this because I couldn't imagine my life without it. And I think it's a good rule to live by. And sometimes we have to make choices, and we have to make concessions in life. But I hate the old adage, but it's true. Pick something that you love and do it the very best that you can.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. I spent 28 years working for a company that made millions of dollars, and I finally decided to pick something that I love, which is doing this.
Now you get to do what you love. Isn't that great? It's so great.
I love, and being able to meet you and have conversations like this has just been absolutely rewarding. Mark, is there anything you want to close us out with?
Well, first, I just want to say happy belated birthday. I know your birthday was
Thank you. Yeah.
So happy belated birthday. You said, now, before I go, I just have to ask, you said you went to NYU. What year did you go there? Because I went to NYU as well in 89, 90. I didn't graduate from there, but I did attend.
Yeah, I came just after you. So I graduated high school in 1989, and then I went to Chico State and took my time. And then I went to NYU in the year 94.
Okay.
But Billy Crudup was in the year ahead of me. Mahershala Ali was in the year after me. Those are my people. Mahershala Ali has to be one of the finest young human beings I've ever met before all this. What an amazing person. I mean, we're talking about 20 students a class. It's not a big program, the grad program. So in general, there's some pretty fine young people that go there. And so I graduated in 98 from NYU. Yeah.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was all I wanted to say. Big O, you want to take us out?
Yes. Well, listen, again, Ms. Detmer, thank you for your time. Again, we know it is precious, and we would love to have you back anytime that you want to come back. Feel free to send us an email. We will make the time to have you on here. We would love for you to come on and, share what you're doing in the future, because as always, we're a small time thing, but we would love to have big people on here. Someone as with your clout is definitely raises our standards. So thank you for your time. And if there's anything we can ever do to help and see you at any cons, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thank you so much. I like to say, you never really know, but when they know, you'll know, That's
I love
but it's true. You never know, and you never know who you're talking. You just be open to the world, and the world will be open to you. So it's really nice to meet both of you, and to be asked. So thank you so much, and to everyone who's listening, have a great and wonderful rest of your day, and enjoy the holidays that are coming up. And thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Good night, everyone.